What's up YouTube, this is LDS Reliance. Today I'm going to show you how to change your boring old piece of particle board furniture into something nicer with some gel stain. So the products we're going to be using today is this General Finishes gel stain and then some wipe-on urethane. This is generally accepted in Pinterest circles and in kind of DIY type circles as being the best for this particular. What it does is it overlays the existing stain, covers it up. So it's not truly really a stain like you're probably used to. So what we need is the actual stain, and we've got a Java color, it's a really dark brown, and then we need a top coat, and you can probably use a different type of top coat like a polyurethane or something, but we decided to go with this same brand. We need some sponge brushes, foam brushes, and then we need some fine grit sandpaper. Now, I'm also going to be doing this chest of drawers at the same time, so we're doing both of these. These are going to go in my daughter's nursery, her baby room, so we want them to be the same color, and plus they just look like junk. So I'm just going to be doing the front part. Obviously that's the only part that shows, so we're going to take the hardware off of all the drawers, and then we're going to use the sandpaper and scuff it all up. Now when you get done sanding, you're not actually trying to take off any of the stain that's already on here. In fact, if you wipe off this dust, it doesn't look like it's been sanded at all, but all you're really trying to accomplish is to slightly scuff up the surface so that the gel stain has something to grip and adhere to when it dries. Okay, so after we get this sanded down, we need to make sure we get all of the fine dust off of these. So wipe them down a couple times with a damp cloth. Okay, so we're ready to get started with the actual stain. As you can see, this stuff is really thick. It's not really a liquid form. So the first thing that I'm going to do is use one of the smaller brushes and try to get in all of the cracks before we do this part. We're going to do all the little nooks and crannies. Okay, we've got one coat of stain on both of them, and let me show you. This is not like paint. This is not something that you're trying to apply and get super even. You're wanting to do kind of like Mr. Miyagi, kind of back and forth with soft brush strokes so we don't see any lines. The directions say you want to go with the grain. Now I know the directions say to apply liberally, but again, me and my wife have read quite a bit about this, and you're gonna want it's better if you do 3 or 4 coats and do them lightly than trying to do like 1 really heavy or 2 really heavy coats. Okay, after putting down your first coat, you need to let this dry for 24 hours. Especially the cooler and more damp it is, the longer it's going to take to dry. So just to be safe, let it dry for 24 hours, and then you want to make sure that you've got a smooth and that it's not tacky at all. Smooth finish and not tacky. Alright, here we are after a second coat. This was the darker piece of furniture, and as you can see, it's pretty much perfect. We're not going to do another coat on this one. It's turned out really well. There's just a tiny hint of red showing through. This one, I think my wife wants to do another coat, although it's really close. This was a honey oak type of a color to start out with. But so this would kind of be a toss-up whether you wanted to do another coat or not. One thing you can do if you find yourself having some splotchy pieces, like you can see kind of right here a little bit, you can go back through with some really fine sandpaper and kind of smooth it out a little bit in between coats. Just make sure that you get rid of all the dust in between coats. Okay, so here we are on the last coat. Now we're going to use this urethane. This is kind of the same substance. It's kind of a jelly-like substance, and you just apply it with a foam brush just like we did with the others, just kind of back and forth. You can see kind of what it looks like. It's kind of like spreading Vaseline all over this. So just do a real a thorough coat, but a light coat. You don't want this to be super thick, and then we're going to let it dry for a day and I'll show you the results. Okay, here we have the finished product. This is the chest of drawers minus the poles. We're going to get some new hardware for that, but this is how the finished product looks like. By kind of doing long strokes and with the grain, we kind of looks a little bit like wood grain, so that's a nice surprise how well that turned out. And we wanted to try to match it to this crib that we already had, which is kind of a mocha kind of a color, and I think we succeeded. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys.